Cardi B has never been one to shy away from shocking the world. But even by her standards, this next revelation left fans speechless. Imagine spending over $13,000 on a piece of jewelry. Not for your neck, not for your wrist, but for one of the most unexpected places on your body. That's exactly what Cardi B just admitted to doing. In a candid interview, the rap superstar revealed she splurged on a diamond-studded piercing placed in a spot so bizarre, most people couldn't believe it was even possible. And here's the kicker. Just weeks later, that pricey little jewel was gone, vanished in the most ridiculous way you could ever imagine. So why did Cardi even go through with this piercing in the first place? And how on earth could something worth more than most people's cars disappear in an instant? Well, the story behind it is even stranger than you think. It all started when Cardi B sat down for an interview on the popular podcast Call Her Daddy. Between wild confessions and unfiltered stories, she casually dropped a bombshell that instantly had fans replaying the clip. With zero hesitation, Cardi admitted she spent a jaw-dropping $13,000 on a piercing, one placed in a location most people wouldn't even dare to imagine, right along her butt crack. The rapper explained that the piercing wasn't just any accessory. It was made with real diamonds. Not costume jewelry, not a playful experiment, but a luxury modification that could rival the price of a Rolex watch. For Cardi, it was more than a bold fashion statement. It was proof that when it comes to self-expression, she doesn't just push boundaries, she completely erases them. And yet, despite the outrageous cost and the unusual spot, Cardi B seemed unfazed. For her, this wasn't just another headline-making stunt. It was simply another day in the life of one of music's most unpredictable stars. But little did she know, this sparkling $13,000 investment wouldn't stay around for long. Now here's where the story takes an even stranger turn. Despite the diamond piercing costing as much as a brand new car, it didn't stick around for long. In fact, within just a single month, it was gone, vanished without a trace. Cardi B recalled the moment she realized something was off. She looked down, checked her clothes, and started searching everywhere, only to come to a hilarious yet painful conclusion. The piercing had most likely slipped out and been flushed straight down the toilet. Think about that for a second. $13,000 literally gone in seconds. No dramatic robbery, no backstage accident, just an everyday bathroom mishap that would leave anyone else crying. But Cardi? She laughed it off, almost amused by the ridiculousness of it all. The internet, of course, went wild. Fans couldn't believe such an expensive piece of jewelry could disappear so casually. Comments poured in, ranging from disbelief to outright comedy. $13,000, flushed like pocket change, one user wrote, while another joked it was the most expensive bathroom trip in history. But while losing that kind of money would devastate most people, Cardi's attitude showed just how unfazed she really is. And honestly, part of the reason might be connected to something even more surprising, because according to Cardi, this piercing wasn't nearly as painful as it sounds. Here's the part that left fans even more shocked. You'd think getting a piercing in such a sensitive area would be pure agony, right? But Cardi B revealed the complete opposite. It didn't hurt at all. According to her, the reason was simple. That part of her body has been numb for years. During the interview, she explained that she had gone through a major cosmetic procedure that left certain areas without feeling. So when the needle went in, Cardi said it was the easiest piercing ever. For most people, the idea of a piercing there is enough to make you wince. But for Cardi, it was nothing more than a quick, painless moment. She shrugged it off like it was no big deal, even joking that she wouldn't recommend it to others because, in her case, her body was uniquely prepared for it. But that casual explanation opened the door to something even more unexpected, because the reason for her numbness wasn't just random chance. It was the result of a secret surgery most fans never knew she had. And when Cardi finally explained it, the story took another twist no one saw coming. When Cardi finally explained why that area of her body was numb, fans were stunned. It wasn't some medical mystery. It was the result of a surgery that hardly anyone knew about. She admitted that years back, she actually had a butt reduction procedure. For someone constantly criticized for having curves too big to be real, this revelation turned the conversation upside down. Cardi explained that people often assume she's always trying to make her figure larger, but the truth is she once went under the knife to make it smaller. In her words, it was like a tummy tuck for her, but surgeons had removed excess tissue, tightening the skin and leaving certain areas permanently numb. That numbness, she explained, is the exact reason why the piercing felt painless, because the nerves in that part of her body simply don't respond anymore. For fans, the admission was shocking. Not only had Cardi B been open about cosmetic work in the past, but now she revealed that even her boldest decisions often came with complicated backstories the public never knew. And just when people thought the conversation couldn't get any stranger, she reminded everyone that this wasn't just a private surgery secret. It was something she had teased online long before the podcast ever aired. Long before her podcast confession, Cardi B had already hinted at the piercing in the most Cardi way possible, by taking it straight to social media. Earlier this year, she casually dropped a post on X, formerly known as Twitter, writing, "I got my butt crack pierced face with end over mouth." If that wasn't enough, she followed it up with an actual photo of the piercing, leaving fans completely floored. The internet instantly lit up with a mix of shock, disbelief, and endless jokes. One fan demanded, "How is that even physically possible?" While another quipped, "Sounds like a pain in the ass." The post quickly went viral, racking up thousands of comments and shares. For many, it was just another reminder that Cardi knows exactly how to keep the world talking. But for others, it raised even more questions. Why go through the trouble of such an unusual piercing, only to risk losing it? As fans debated online, Cardi herself stayed cool, offering little explanation beyond her playful reveal. And when the piercing later vanished, those old posts resurfaced, becoming instant proof that yes, it really did happen. But if you thought Cardi rushed out to replace the missing jewel, think again. After all the chaos, you'd think Cardi B would be racing to replace that $13,000 piercing. But surprisingly, she hasn't. When asked about it, she admitted she just hasn't been in the mood. That simple explanation left fans scratching their heads. For some, it showed how little the loss really meant to her. After all, Cardi lives a lifestyle where a five-figure piece of jewelry can disappear without a meltdown. For others, it sparked speculation. Was she over the piercing trend altogether? Or was she waiting for the right moment to shock everyone with an even bigger, bolder replacement? Either way, Cardi brushed it off in classic Cardi fashion, unbothered, confident, and already moving on to the next headline-grabbing moment. The piercing might be gone, but the story it created is alive and well, proving once again that when it comes to Cardi B, the drama never really ends. And if you think this was her wildest confession, just wait. Because with Cardi, the next surprise is always right around the corner. At the end of the day, Cardi B's $13,000 but crack piercing wasn't just about jewelry. It was a snapshot of what makes her such a fascinating figure. Bold, unpredictable, and completely unafraid to do the things most people wouldn't even dare to imagine. In just a few minutes of storytelling, we went from a diamond-studded body modification to a bathroom mishap that flushed away a small fortune, to a secret surgery that changed the way she feels pain. And somehow, only Cardi could make all of that sound casual, funny, and even relatable. Whether you see it as a wild waste of money or the ultimate flex, one thing's for sure. Cardi B knows exactly how to keep the internet talking. And if this is what she's willing to share, you can only imagine the untold stories she hasn't revealed yet. So here's the real question. What do you think Cardi's next shocking confession will be? Because if history has taught us anything, it's that with Cardi B, the surprises never stop.